Alien Covenant stars Catherine Waterston, Danny McBride, Dr. Manhattan, Magneto, but not James Franco, so get that out of your heads. This movie is a faithful sequel to 2012's Prometheus, and probably a prequel to 1979's Alien. So let's talk about Prometheus for a second. 20th Century Fox announced that Ridley Scott would be returning to the Alien franchise, and how exciting did that sound? Who better? We get to see where the xenomorphs came from, and that weird elephant guy in the chair would be involved somehow. That sounded pretty cool. But what we didn't know is that the whole movie would be about religion, and that Jesus was a 7-foot albino extraterrestrial? What? And the only connection to the Alien franchise in this whole film, Wayland, and this thing at the end that's sort of like an alien, but not really, and we're probably never going to see it again. So how does this movie fare in the entirety of the Alien franchise? Where does it sit? What does it achieve? It's sort of an alien movie. There's a couple of aliens in it. Like, I don't know. I just don't know how Ridley Scott's brain works. It might be the alcohol abuse, but I'm not sure.
Purpose. So that provoked Prometheus. Prometheus was very successful.
So Alien Covenant follows the story of a bunch of people who are transporting 2,000 frozen human beings as well as embryo eggs across the galaxy to a distant planet somewhere out in the galaxy in the cosmos, where their intention is to populate a planet because I think it's hinted at that Earth can't hold people anymore. It's never really touched on. However, on their way, they enter this storm in space, and it attacks the ship, and it blows up a bit, and it wakes them all up early, and they all have to then repair the ship. What they find is a distress signal to a planet that was on the way that can also inhabit life that they didn't know about. And so rather than staying on course, they decide to go to this planet to investigate. Alright, so spoilers from here on out. Ripley will fight an alien, and then 50 years later she'll find out that her daughter died of old age. Whoops! Sorry if I spoiled it. So my biggest problems with this new franchise is the whole David story arc, which feels like it would work better in a different set of films outside of the Alien universe. And my other problem is that these movies will never ever connect to the Alien universe. The origins of the xenomorph are becoming so sloppy and inconsistent. We're all tricked into that first Prometheus trailer because it had the original Alien trailer sound. But when we all went to see Prometheus, this is what we got of the beginnings of the xenomorphs. These archaeologists found tall white aliens who made them, but then they hate them, and they have black goo that makes some white space cobras. Acid blood makes this guy look like this, and if you drink a drop of this black goo and then have sex with a woman that can't bear children, she'll give birth to a squid, which becomes a bigger squid that face rapes Jesus and gives birth to a blue dolphin. Is any of this sounding familiar yet? So now we have Alien Covenant. And are we closer to the classic xenomorph? Yes. Does it make sense? Nah. There are two types of alien in Covenant. One looks like this hairless rat that bursts out of the bodies when you interact with these plant nipples, and an alien that looks much closer to the xenomorph that actually comes out of the traditional egg. Now, the frustrating part is there's one throwaway line from David where he says that he genetically modified the black goo and the aliens just sort of happened. David has been living in a cave for the past 10 years. He has not been living in the ship that they crashed on the planet on, and he is nowhere near a laboratory. It is never shown or explained how he modified the goo to make the aliens, and he made those eggs without a queen alien. Then I found out that Ridley Scott then changed his mind about the engineers creating the xenomorphs and actually changed it to David was the one that made the xenomorphs.
So we took on a different direction. The engineers didn't make him, David made him, which I thought was far more interesting.
Oh, I mean, look at this guy. Probably drink me under the table.
Yeah.
At least.
I got to get a sense of responsibility. So then I go, all right, I can do this. And they all go, oh, wow.
Like, you can't even stay awake in these interviews.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's like he's been programmed. He's kind of a prototype. So the fact that he has these sort of human characteristics in his programming, I felt like over 10 years. He's without maintenance.
But at least now we have the xenomorphs in these movies. And if no one bitched about the absence of the xenomorph in Prometheus, then who knows how many random creature designs it would have taken to get to the final xenomorph in following sequels. And if you thought you'd have your questions answered from Prometheus, I have some bad news for you. Now there are more inconsistencies with this sequel, and I'm going to talk about gestation period and LV-426. Gone are the days of the facehugger taking its time to lay the egg, chestburster going through a larval phase to shed its skin. This dust stuff goes straight into someone's ear, and then 4 minutes and 23 seconds later, this thing pops out. And then this dummy gets a facehugger, and 2 minutes later the alien pops out, and then it grows to full size right before your eyes.
Playing with that a little bit in Prometheus, so it's in the prologue to this.
Also, how many movies will it take for us to finally get to LV-426? The Prometheus planet could have been it. We thought the planet in this movie was going to be that. The Covenant crew was actually on the way to this different planet before they found out about the one in this movie. And then at the end of this movie, they're heading back to that planet that they were originally going to go to because, David's got some schemes going on. Will that planet be it? Like, just get there already. Give me Alien. I hate things that are different.
I mean, the Alien franchise should be into War of the Worlds now. That's where I'm going.
Is that the plan? Because
right.
I've heard the next one is what
they don't know yet, but that's what we're doing, Fox. Okay.
We were actually on our way to getting the Alien film we all wanted from District 9 director Neil Blomkamp. Word from Sigourney Weaver hinted that Ridley Scott wanting to postpone his film, probably so people wouldn't forget about his Jesus Metaphor prequel series. Then before releasing Alien Covenant, he revealed that the movie was cancelled and there was no script. Despite Sigourney Weaver saying that she's read a script, and even James Cameron saying that he read a script and loved it.
But there was no real script came out, and I was doing my other thing. So if Fox is the one who decided not to, so, don't know. I think this is enough. Just keep going down this route.
But in all fairness, it's still a well-executed movie in both visuals and horror. Got some great gore and gross-out moments in it, so check it out if you want. And still respect to you, Mr. Scott. You have given us great movies and probably will to come. And remember, the answers to life's mysteries are not in that bottle.
I think they cooked it, put an orange in his mouth with crackling on his back, frankly, when they did Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah, the least said about that, the better.
Yikes.
Are you all thinking the same thing I was? That if they cast Danny McBride, they should just have made a movie called Kenny Powers vs. Alien?
Learn the language, dog. Yeah, well, hopefully when you go out there, you'll find your green card and surf on the fuck home.